Welcome to the show.
Topic 3. Manslaughter acquittal.
Yeah. So, this week, you may remember the police shooting of Philando Castile, which happened over a year ago.
Gee, that long?
I think it was over a year ago. Need to double check. But this week, the officer who shot Philando Castile through the window during a routine traffic stop was acquitted by a jury. They also showed the dash cam footage, which the jury had been shown. That was publicly released as well.
It was that and like all the documents to do with it, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. It's like, because you look at those videos, and there's the first video where Philando Castile's girlfriend has Facebook live streamed him dying.
That's right.
So he's just been shot, and it comes on, like literally just been shot, and you can hear the officer yelling outside. He's pointing his gun through the window still, and she's like giving commentary on what's just happened and shows
and the body's there,
and their 4-year-old daughter's in the backseat. And now this dash cam footage has come out, and I guess it was always a question, because the police will always draw in a question like, the video doesn't show the context or what happened. So this dash cam footage from the police car that was parked behind Philando's car, that pretty well matches up exactly with what happens in his girlfriend's video, because you can hear the officer yelling on the dash cam and the video, and you can kind of line up what's happened and the shots. So her video is like right after.
Yeah.
Like he's gotten shot, and she's just talking. She's saying exactly what's happened. This officer has shot my boyfriend. He basically, once when the police officer had gotten to his window, had told the police officer, as you should, I have a weapon, which I'm licensed to carry. And then the officer has asked for his ID, and he's gone to reach for it, and he's freaked out and shot him 5 times, was it? And twice through his heart, and he's died. And his girlfriend is narrating what's happened, and like he's saying, he reached for the gun. He's like, the officer's clearly like freaking out, panicking.
There was one little bit that you missed out, that the guy in the seat actually says, I'm just letting you know, officer, I have a registered gun in the car. Like he very calmly and collectedly informs the officer to avoid a situation that happened anyway. Yeah, he did exactly what he would have done. He did exactly what any, like, you'd have to say, if any white person had acted the way that he acted, not in a million years would it have ended up with them getting shot. No way. And this week, that was he was acquitted completely, no charges. He was let go from that police department because I think they said he was a wrong fit or something. Yeah. It's like, do you think there's a lot of layers to this? Obviously, I don't think he's in the right, but how did the dashcam footage get released? Is that like a legal thing? It seems like the officer hasn't been given like any privacy kind of thing in this, in that everybody knows exactly what his name is. Like all the evidence from the trial is like public now, so it almost seems like they acquitted him, but they kind of sentenced him at the same time, because no one in his life is ever not going to know about this.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that maybe that's a legal thing where that sort of thing does become public domain. Yeah. Because I don't know if any like high profile case where you don't know the name of the person accused. Yeah. Because reporters are allowed into a courtroom. Right. They just have to write stuff down, and they take those drawings and stuff.
You'd just think, especially with police, that they would keep his name private.
Yeah, you would. But
that doesn't mean I think he's innocent.
No, and I don't think anyone thinks he's innocent, except for those jurors, apparently. But yeah, it's insane. Like, did you guys watch the video?
Yeah. I did see some of the video this week.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when the Facebook video first came out, everyone's question was, because it sort of starts just before the shooting.
Yeah, it's like, what did he do?
Yeah, exactly. What did he do? And I guess it sort of divided people, because a lot of people went straight to, obviously, the cop's racist and he shouldn't have been shot, which I think is true. But there were people who said, well, we don't know what happened before the video started. Whereas now...
That's always the defense.
We do know what happened before the video started. We knew exactly how it happened, and
politely told him he had a gun.
There was no circumstance where he should have been shot, or even had a gun pointed at him for having a broken brake light. Like, It's no reason for a cop to even approach the car with a gun. Like I know in America, like they have to carry the gun out all the times, but
He didn't approach it with his gun out. He approached it.
He basically, when he put the window down, he was talking to him, and you can see in the
Get his
video,
hand on it, yeah.
he's already reaching for his gun. Like he's got his hand on the gun as he's talking to him. Like there was just no need for it, and the fact that he's getting away with it, I think, is
it's
pretty
insane.
pretty ridiculous.
How's it happen? Because he's been fired from his job.
Yeah.
Precinct.
Yeah.
So obviously, but they're saying
It's not an admission of him being doing something illegal. It means that they didn't think he was a good police officer.
So is the police department saying that he did the right thing, basically?
They'll
that's what the jury
probably would never comment on that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I think he got fired pretty much straight away.
Yeah, I think
This
he
one.
did. Yeah, I think he did.
But yeah, and you look at motive, right?
Mm.
This guy's got his girlfriend in the car, his 4-year-old daughter's in the back. He's not committing any crime. The guy has a job as a cafeteria worker,
Yeah.
and apparently he was awesome at it because he memorized like every kid who had an allergy. He
Yeah.
knew, like the 700 kids.
Wow.
He knew what they were in each one of them. He's not like the kind of guy who, the cops are like pulling me over for a broken taillight, I'm gonna get my gun out.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that happened. Zero chance that happened.
He's super respectful and level-headed.
Yeah. So, and this week there was another one, another guy who got acquitted of shooting someone. So this was in Milwaukee. A 23-year-old man named Sylville K. Smith was shot in August. There was protests back then, apparently. Apparently this is so common that not all of them get in the news. But this is a different one. This guy... so what happened is they pull up to this guy, this Sylville. The police officers suspect that he is part of a drug deal. So they pull up and like chase him, and he runs away, and he had a gun. So this one's slightly different. He gets to a metal chain link fence and throws the gun over. And the officer shoots him once, hits him in the arm, and then Silver like slumps down next to the chain link fence. They actually have body cam footage of this one, so they know what happened.
Yeah.
And then the officer comes up to him and shoots him again in the chest after he's already down and been shot in the arm.
Jeez.
And he doesn't have his weapon, but the reason he got acquitted, and this was the defense. So the prosecution saying, look, the first shot, okay, he did have a gun. But he's been immobilized, he's on the ground. There's no reason to shoot him again.
That's right.
But the defense for this was that they taught a rule. It's called the plus one rule or something. It's basically assume that if someone has one gun, that they might have two.
Right.
So if you see them move...
Right. He could have another one.
He could have another one. Now, this guy was also fired. But the reason he was fired is because the next day he's accused of sexually assaulting a man in a bar and of telling that man, I can do whatever I want and I'll get away with it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So that he wasn't fired for shooting the guy he shot. He was fired for the possible sexual assault, which those charges are still pending. But
Right.
insane, huh? Like there's another one. I don't think any of them have gotten convicted of anything.
Are there backlash from this result? Like, are there people rioting or?
Yeah, there's
protesting?
protests at the moment. The family of the guy in Milwaukee has said he's trying to appeal for calm because he doesn't think that's the right avenue to go down, violence. But I think there was like rioting and destroying police cars and throwing things at police.
Well, like, it's such a, like, they're in power. Like, what are you supposed to do against that?
As much as like I don't like the idea of people being out there rioting or protesting. Like, I think from the situation that we're in, it's like the only thing you can do. Like, what else can you do? You can't. You're supposed to go against the whole system.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is protest and riot. Like, and unfortunately, it's a violent thing and it can get out of hand. But there is no choice. Like, and it's something that I feel like if I was in America, I'd go out on a riot for this guy.
Yeah. Well, you can protest without violence.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah.
Definitely. It's like, how often does that get in the news when black people protest peacefully?
Yeah, and
like
like
never.
Like, all you have to do to be on, like, the side of, like, he shouldn't have gotten shot in this one is watch the video and just see the mum talking to the girl, like, it's ridiculous. Like, who in their right mind, this is going to sound pretty hardline, but who in their right mind who isn't racist would see a child in the back and think that guy wants bullets to be shot around me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Nah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like, you have to be so, like, tunnel vision, like, as if any parent is going to shoot someone around their 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
In this case, I have absolutely no idea what the actual defense was as well. Like, I don't know how that jury didn't convict. That's what I don't get.
I watched the video a lot of times, and honestly, I think he just gets a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because, like, seriously, I watched it like 50 times, and the kind of the lining up of it, of he goes, I have a registered firearm, like, it's like within seconds after that is actually when he shoots him. So it's like, I have a registered firearm. I think he says that while he's going for his license, and that's when the police is like, don't go for it, because he thinks he's going for the gun, not the license. So I think on a technicality, like, he's just being a bit over, whatever the word is.
Overzealous?
No, over
Cautious?
like, afraid.
Yeah, so...
Like, he's panicking.
Yeah.
And when you like you listen to his voice on the Facebook video, the police officer is just like,
Yeah, he's distraught.
Yeah.
But I think
no idea what's happening.
I think, like you said, Ali, in his mind, with all the adrenaline and everything going on, he just heard the word firearm,
Yeah.
and he saw the guy reaching for something, and even though he's reaching for it because you've asked him for his ID,
Yeah.
in the moment he just couldn't connect the two and thought, this guy's about to shoot me. And maybe that's because he's racist and he, like, automatically assumes every black guy's out there to shoot him, or maybe it's because, like, he's just...
I would love to know if that guy had ever actually had someone pull a gun on him. Like, maybe something's happened in the past.
Exactly,
that's
yeah.
given, like, a traumatic trigger.
Yeah, exactly. That
Like,
could be a
he's
thing
been
as
shot
well.
at. I would assume that a lot of police officers in America have been shot at.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I'm sure that would have been the lining of argument from the defense.
Yeah.
Which would have been he had something happen to him, and it was self-defense.
If that's the reason.
And it seems like no one wants to convict a police officer.
Yeah.
Because no one's been convicted yet, right? There's been, I don't know how many of these cases, and they get off every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, previously there was other cases where the prosecution wouldn't actually tell a grand jury to, like, put this person on trial. So they have, like, a grand jury first to decide if charges should be laid.
Right.
And the prosecution wouldn't go after it because they have to work with the police all the time in order to actually make cases against criminals.
Right.
So what incentive is there for a prosecutor to go after a cop?
Yeah.
But in these cases, they have gone to trial, and the prosecution is arguing strongly for criminal charges to be, like, he's guilty, but it still hasn't gone through. But I guess, like, how many people? Okay, if you're the defense, they do that thing where you get to choose the jury, right? And you pick, like, 2 or 3 people who can relate to the cop, right? I guess that, like, it doesn't take much to get someone off a charge. It takes a lot to get someone convicted, because you need the entire jury to be unanimous.
And there's dozens and dozens, hundreds, I guess, of precedents for cops getting off, but none been set yet for a conviction of a cop.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, a cop getting convicted is also, like, a sort of a admission of guilt from
The system.
failing. So I guess they also don't want to admit that, but, like, the system is clearly failing.
Yeah.
But it just makes it worse, because it's like there's no responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, like, none of us know what it's like to be a cop.
Yeah.
Especially in America. Like, that place is insane.
Yeah.
There's, like, more guns than people.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, with a grain of salt, us saying, yeah, it's obvious that he's guilty, I can understand the argument that he just freaked out because he heard gun and a guy reaching down.
Yep.
But in the context of, like, this is a guy with his daughter in the back, like, the fact that he was black is the reason he's dead. Because no way that happens to a white guy.
Yeah.
The system is flawed, I think.
Yeah. Is there any more on that, John?
No.
All right. So